you put on social media in order to help prevent the distress that a burglary can cause. So before you post on Facebook, do take into account who can see what you've just posted. If you've had an insurance claim denied because of social media, please tell your story to us, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Earlier I mentioned about strikes and cancellations and delays, where it looks like an airline is actually charging people to prove that the flight was cancelled for when these people make a claim against their travel insurance. The airline is EasyJet, and it charges £10 for the proof of flight cancellations. And it says, well, it's a bit like my vet charging me to fill in a form for my pet insurance. I can't fill it in, the vet has to do it, but the vet chooses to charge for it. Well, my old vet did. I've now got a new vet who doesn't charge, and I like them a lot. But it's really an admin charge, and that's why they're charging £10. And it applies because each letter has to be individually researched before it can be sent back. The Association of European Airlines said that it was unaware of other airlines charging for the service. This fee came to light after passengers sought compensation from their travel companies for flight delays caused by the recent French air traffic control strike. Bless them. And EasyJet has said this is a legitimate cost to help the insurance company process the claim. It will be covered as part of the claim, so the customer will be reimbursed. Although the French strikes were outside of EasyJet's control, we provided hundreds of thousands of customers with hotel accommodation and meals if their flights were cancelled, in line with the EU regulations. EasyJet also operated a number of rescue flights to help get passengers to their destination following the strike. And it does make you think, well, can you legitimately claim on travel insurance for delays if the airline does such a good job of looking after you, gives you accommodation? What out-of-pocket expenses are you going to have in most instances? But anyway, if you've asked for an airline for proof of cancellation for your travel agent, for your travel insurance, were you charged? Let us know, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. It's still a mystery why 3 people passed out during a Sky West flight which was forced to divert. After an initial inspection on the ground, no faults were found with the plane, according to the airline Sky West. The spokesperson said, after examination by maintenance personnel and local authorities, there have been no indications of a pressurisation problem or other issue with the aircraft, and they went on to say that the investigation is ongoing. The Sky West Airlines Flight 5622 had left Chicago and was on its way to Connecticut, and when the pilot was alerted to a possible loss of cabin pressure as 3 passengers passed out and others complained of dizziness. The pilot then took the plane into a deep descent, plunging nearly 30,000 feet in just 8 minutes. That must have been so scary. Initial reports indicated that one of the cabin doors opened mid-flight, which caused the loss of cabin pressure, but this was later ruled out by an FAA statement, Federal Aviation Authority in the US. However, according to the LA Times, an unnamed aviation official said crew members reported that a door had in fact opened in the air, causing rapid depressurization. The door opening, the descent, that must have been one scary 8 to 10 minutes, but everybody seems okay now. Ethical Maldives Alliance, who is an online group, has published a list of resorts it wants visitors to avoid, and they're claiming that hotels are guilty of ill treatment of local and foreign workers, have been dumping waste at sea, illegal shark fishing, and supporting corruption on the islands. But unfortunately, the group hasn't provided any proof of the claims made against resorts, and there's no details of who is behind the group on the website. The Maldives Acting High Commissioner, Hassan Safou, I bet I got that wrong, said in a statement to Travel Mole that the resorts targeted seem to have been categorised not on the basis of any practices in their resorts, but on the basis of the alleged links of their owners to the government of the Maldives. He said that in a country as small as the Maldives, where tourism is a key industry, it is inevitable that many resort owners will have professional or personal relationships with political party leaders. But, and this will be true for opposition parties as well as for government parties, he said. In addition, the High Commissioner said that the 13 resorts all belong to either one of only 2 resort groups. Sorry, they all belong to either one of only 2 resort groups. Get that bit right. With only 2 resort groups are targeted and little information about the identities of those behind the Ethical Maldives Alliance, it is difficult to discern the true intentions and the objections of the website, he added. In the absence of any evidence linking resorts to human rights violation, it is perfectly plausible that a website constitutes a targeted smear campaign by business rivals or disgruntled individuals who are exploiting political developments to further their private objectives. And he went on to say, alternatively, the website could simply be an outlet to spread groundless allegations about the government of the Maldives in an attempt to undermine parts of the tourism sector for political ends. And he said in the last year the Maldives has implemented a significant number of measures to promote and preserve human rights in the country. And he assured visitors that wherever they stay, tourists can look forward to a warm welcome and enjoyable holiday. When a group posts something like this without any evidence, it is a bit pointless, to be honest. I am interested in how ethical places are when people go and visit. So hopefully this will either disappear because it's just a ridiculous smear, or if there is some substance to the claims, maybe they'll be made public in the near future. Whichever way, I will keep you up to date.
Rockers, join me, Colin,
and me, Andy,
for Roadie Rocks.
Fridays at 8 p.m. on Seclo Sounds, bringing you the very best in classic rock, stories from the road and special guests.
You can join in by following us on Twitter at RoadieRocksMK.
Roadie Rocks, Fridays at 8 p.m. only on Seclo Sounds.
Sweet satisfaction.
Keep up to date with travel news by liking my page, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. There's another player on the online booking offerings. There could be another nail in the coffin of travel agents. If I was a travel agent, I would be quite worried right now because I know my wife uses this particular company to do all sorts of shopping. So it'd be quite natural for her, if she didn't have me, to use it to find hotels too. The online retail giant Amazon has started taking hotel bookings at published rates for the first time, and according to some people, this could threaten the established online travel agents such as Booking.com and Expedia. The new brand is called Amazon Destinations, and it sits on the main Amazon website, such as with Love Film and the different departments. So far, though, it's only offering hotel breaks in 3 regions of the United States: the Pacific Northwest, California, and the Northeast. And the service features the tagline, "Hit the road, book local getaways." It reads better than I say it, obviously. There are around about 150 hotels listed on Amazon.com, and mostly within driving distance of LA, Seattle or New York metro areas. For the time being, Amazon Destinations does sit within the Amazon Local brand, which has featured discounted accommodation deals for some time in the US, apparently. However, Destinations offered a published rates, not just deeply discounted deals, and they work directly with the hotels. A spokesperson said that the service hopes to focus on the short getaway market, offering quality accommodation, and went on to say that they're hand-picked properties that have been visited by somebody at Amazon to make sure they meet their quality requirements, which is quite good because there is an awful lot of rubbish on some websites out there. But he didn't decline to let anybody know how much commission would charge to hoteliers, but said it would be competitive compared to the other online travel agents. To date, though, Amazon does not offer travel or any other services in the UK site, only a wide range of products. And there's no comment been made on the future plans of the UK website. But as I said, my wife uses Amazon for all sorts of things: food, books, videos. It'd just be a natural progression for somebody like her to go into hotels too. So this could be changing the face of booking online travel. What seems an awful long time ago, I did a show from Jamaica, and I had a local tourism representative in to chat to them. And I mentioned about people on the beach trying to sell stuff to tourists and what a pain it can be. And her advice was just say, no thank you, not interested. And be blunt, don't worry about being polite, just say no, and they'll move on. If you be polite, you're going to confuse the issue and they're going to keep coming back and coming back. But if you're just straight, no, then they should go away. But perhaps not everybody's doing this because the Jamaican government is to spend almost $900,000 to increase police presence and educate street vendors against over-the-top sales tactics in general, giving tourists a hard time with harassing them. The Tourism Minister, Wickham McNeill, said that they were going to continue to aggressively fight to rid Jamaica of the problem of visitor harassment. Only then will we begin to see the wider cross-section of Jamaica's communities, businesses and individuals benefiting from the tourism sector. According to government data, around a third of visitors complained about constant pestering in 2013. I had a little bit, but as I said, I just said no and it went away, no problem. The perception of harassment keeps cruise passengers on ships during port calls, and some guests are wary of venturing outside the resort, according to the minister. This significantly affects small operators such as craft vendors and other small businesses, as this severely limits their contact with potential customers, he said. When you've been on the way, have you been suffering from people trying to sell you stuff on the beach? You're trying to relax and they're trying to flog you all sorts of stuff. How did you get rid of them? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did you experience some trouble in Jamaica? Let me know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. I've mentioned in the past the lack of security for airport staff in the United States. People who work at UK airports have to go through the same security screening as the passengers do. And it seems really strange that the country that basically force all these checks onto the rest of the world don't carry out the same checks to their people who work at their airports. And because they haven't been doing the checks, there's been reports of gun running and drug smuggling, because it's quite easy to get stuff on an aeroplane because you're not checked. The only people who were checked were the aircrew, but not the people who were loading the plane. And some changes are going to be made, but unfortunately they still don't have the facility to screen all airline employees before they start work. There's something that's been called before, but it's still not there. There's been other changes as well. And the senator is hoping that the TSA, who are responsible for that, they're the cheerful chappies you meet when you fly into America, will make it mandatory that baggage workers, cleaning crew and anybody who works for an airport or the airlines is screened every day when they arrive for work, just like they are in the UK. But what is going to happen is going to be more checks on criminal history. There's going to be fingerprints taken, so if an employee commits a crime, gets arrested for it, the fingerprint will flag up and the airline people will know about it. Hopefully going to reduce the number of access points to secured areas to an operational minimum. And there's going to be random screening throughout the workday. And of course they want people to whistleblow as well. But if they screened everybody and everything that went into the airport at the start of the working day, they wouldn't need a whistleblower because you couldn't get stuff in there in the first place. But at least it's a step in the right direction, and hopefully at the end of this year I won't be saying about drug smuggling and gun running around the United States airports because of the lack of security. What are your feelings on security? Some people who go through them think they're a complete waste of time. They're just there to make people feel that the government are doing something. Others think it's very important. Where do you sit? Do you think the checks are meaningless and pointless, or are you glad they're there? Let me know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And that's the end of the travel news for this week. Well, the end of another travel show. I hope you found the information over the last two shows about booking flights useful. If there's any tips you have which I haven't mentioned, you can share them on Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Or if there's any aspect you feel that I haven't covered during the last two shows and you want to know more about it, let me know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Or John.Guinn, which is GUINN at seclosounds.org, and I'll get the answer to you. What do you think about the security situation at the American airports? Does it scare you like it scares me? Are you relieved that UK airport staff are checked before they can start work? Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Let us know your thoughts. I do hope you can join me next time on the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org, where each week I'm checking it out before you check it.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture and much more to 84,000 people every month. Plus news, views and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.